Natavaravu Karnayo Karnikaram Vibhradvasa Kanakakabhisham Vaijayanti Jamalam Randrameno Radharasudhaya Urayan Gopavrindai Vrindaranyam Swapadaramanam Avisha Gita Kirti Namah Kamalana Bhaya Namah Kamalamaya Namah Kamalapada Namaste Kamalekshana Brahmanam Vidhati Purvam Yo Vai Vedansya Pranoti Tasmai Tatvam Devamatma Buddhi Prakasham Mokshadurai Sharanamaham Prapatti Seekers of divine bliss. It's always a dilemma for me, the language I should be speaking in. When I came to this country initially, I gave talks only in English because I was very concerned about the upcoming younger generation in this country who were deprived of the invaluable spiritual gems of knowledge which are indispensable for the disturbed world of today. But after a couple of years, there was a great pressure from many people, especially from the temples, that I speak in Hindi. So it was a kind of Hindi-English business. Since last year, I have been giving talks on this channel in English because I have a freedom to say what I want to on the channel at least. And along with that, I try to come before people from all walks of life because the precious gems of wisdom of Sanatana Dharma are applicable to each and every human being, irrespective of caste, creed, and country. However, today I will try to put in a little bit of Hindi as well. Try that. But of course, majority of the talk is going to be in English. The concept of karma is one of the most important, unique contributions of India to the whole world. Many of the major religions, Buddhism, Jainism, Sikhism, Judaism, they all accept the universality of this law of karma. A great philosopher, some of you who like reading must have heard of Paul Brunton. He said that the law of karma is a perfectly scientific law. And that is why you find more and more people in the world accepting this doctrine of karma as the most meaningful, the most logical explanation of all the disparity and inequality that we experience and witness in our lives. This law of karma can be compared to the law of gravity in physical terms. Now, if a person does not accept the law of gravity, I don't believe in that law, does it matter? It's not going to change things. The law of gravity is an irrefutable law of life. In the same way, if a person says, I do not believe in the law of karma, I do not accept it, it's not a question of accepting or believing, because you're still going to be ruled by it. You cannot avoid it. You cannot escape it. You all know that the law of karma is the law of cause and effect. Whatever actions we perform have a reaction. In Christianity, this concept has been referred to as what you sow, you shall reap. Jo karenge, so bharenge. Simple. Thus, according to this law of karma, whatever happens in our life, we ourselves are responsible for it. You are the architect of your present situation, your past and future. So karma means that you are responsible. You determine the circumstances of your life. To be born a cripple, कोई लंगड़ा पैदा हुआ है, or to be born an athlete, to be born a beggar, भिखारी के घर में पैदा हुआ या राजा बना, to be born a king, is the sum total of your own actions. So, to cry against some apparent injustice in your life, we are always doing that, grumbling and complaining. Why has this happened to me? I don't deserve this fate. So to cry out against any injustice in your life is ignorance of this law of karma. The Prashnopanishad, Mantra 3.7 says, Punyena punya lokam nayati papena papu bhapyameva manushya lokam. The Mahabharata Puran says, Avashyameva bhoktavyam kritam karma shubha shubham. आपको फल भोगना पड़ेगा अच्छे कर्म का अच्छा फल मिलेगा. The karmic reaction will be according to what you do. Good actions, good result. Bad actions, bad results. So you are responsible. अब यहाँ पर एक प्रश्न उपस्थित होता है. We have a question. What is that question? We hear that ईश्वर की इच्छा के बिना एक पत्ता भी नहीं हिलता. Not a leaf stirreth without the will of God. Bible says that, Christianity. And there are many religions supporting this view. वही होता है जो मंजूरे खुदा होता है. Whatever God wills, it comes to be. Listen to the Gita. 18th chapter, 61st verse. Brahmayan sarvabhutani yantrarudhani mayaya. 18th chapter, 61st verse says that God moves everybody like a yantra, means a machine. We are like a machine in His hands and He moves us. Tulsidas Ji, the great saint Tulsidas, says in the Ramayana, Ur prerak raghuvansh vibhushana savai nachavat ram gosai. He makes us dance. We are like puppets in His hands. This is what the Ramayana is saying. So we have not one, but many mantras, many verses, many quotes telling us that it is God who makes us do. We are like this. Whatever actions we perform, it is His doing. So whether we do good, that's His doing, and the bad, that's what we like. Even that He does. What would you say? We know that what you sow, you reap. You hear that on one side, and the other side you hear, not a leaf stirred without the will of God. What is the truth? क्या भगवान करता है कि हम करते हैं? Let us find out with a bit of brainstorming based upon simple logic. Are we the doers of action, or is there some God up there who makes us dance like puppets? He's the doer, we don't do anything. Let's take point number 1. Suppose you say, yes, I strongly believe, हम लोग कुछ नहीं करते हैं, वही करता है. God is the doer, right? Who is God? What do we define God as? We may not know a lot of the scriptures, but at least we know one thing. God is a personality who is all powerful. भगवान सर्वशक्तिमान है, and He is all pervading, He is all knowing. These are a few things everybody knows. We may accept it or not, believe in it or not, but we know theoretically He is all powerful, He is all pervading, He is all knowing. Now, we all can experience that in our lives there's a lot of wrong things going on. Suppose you have a car and a driver. Not many people have drivers here, but suppose in India people have drivers. Now that driver does not know how to drive. उसको गाड़ी चलाना ठीक से आता नहीं. इंडिया में कभी-कभी अभी पता नहीं ऐसे ही लाइसेंस मिल जाता है. पैसा दे दो, लाइसेंस मिल गया. तो उसको ठीक से ड्राइविंग नहीं आती और शराब पिए है, इस ड्रंक. Now what's the result going to be? Every possibility of an accident, isn't it? The owner of the car is sitting behind and he realizes that this driver is drunk and there can be an accident. He tells him, just go, I'm going to drive. He's a good driver. So he sits on the seat, gets the driver over the back. Now there's a possibility that there won't be an accident because he's a good driver and he's not drunk. Now suppose God were to be the driver of our life car, then there could not be any accident because He is all powerful, He is all knowing. No possibility of anything wrong going in our lives, anything bad happening in our lives because He is the driver. But you all know that we have plenty of accidents when it comes to wrong actions in our life, wrong decisions in our life. बहुत कुछ गड़बड़ हमारे जीवन में हो रहा है, तो अगर भगवान करता होता तो कोई गलत काम हमसे कभी ना होता. ठीक है ना? नंबर 2, if God were the doer of our actions, what do you hear about God? He's impartial. He's equal to all. See what the Gita says. Samoham sarva bhuteshu named dveshu stina priyam. 9th chapter 29th verse. No one is an enemy to me or a friend. ना मेरा कोई दुश्मन है, ना मेरा कोई दोस्त है. I'm equal to all, right? Now when God is equal to all, our experience tells us that some people in this world did good things, they performed the right actions, and they were forever liberated from all the suffering in the world. You hear of Tukaram, Tulsidas, Meera, Nanak Dev, and so many of these saints. They performed good and they got out of this vicious circle, and here we are, still mourning and groaning and suffering. Everybody is going through some sort of suffering, and mental stress, universal. Now, if God is the doer of every action, why has He been so unfair? किसी से अच्छा करवाते हैं और किसी से बुरा काम कराते हैं. ये कैसा भगवान है? We all believe that you may do anything wrong to me here in this world, but I know that it's going to be justice there. हम लोग कहते हैं ना, गरीब भी कहता है हमारा तुम्हारा फैसला उधर होगा, उसको विश्वास है भगवान गलत नहीं करेगा. तो फिर ये क्या बात हुई? कर्म का कर्ता वो है, एक से अच्छा कराता है, एक से बुरा. इसका मतलब भगवान नहीं करता. अगर वो करता तो सबसे अच्छा कराता, सब लोग एक सा काम करते. Right? That's the second point. Let's come to the third point. We were just discussing the law of karma. What you sow, you reap. That means whatever a person does, you have to suffer the consequence of your action, right? Nobody else will suffer for that. You have to, right? Now, if God is the doer of our every action, तो फल को भी उसको भोगना चाहिए ना? He should go through the consequences of the actions. He should suffer them. Now, well, He's all powerful. He can pardon Himself. He's independent. गलत काम किया, आपने को माफ कर दिया. We have no objection. Do what you want. So long as you don't make us suffer. You make us do. Like whether God does it Himself or He makes us do. It's the same thing. हमसे कर्म कराता है. बुरा कर्म, अच्छा कर्म जो भी है, तो वो कराता है और हमको दुख भोगना पड़ता not fair at all. अगर वो करता है तो दुख भी उसको भोगना चाहिए। अगर एक भाई खूब पेट भर के मिठाई खाता जा रहा है, दूसरे भाई ने नहीं खाई, अरे फ्री में है पार्टी में, खूब खा लो। तो जिसने खूब मिठाई खाई तो उल्टी तो वही करेगा ना। अगर रमेश ने मिठाई खाई है पेट भर के और खा लिया तो उल्टी कौन करेगा? दिनेश? नहीं, रमेश ही करेगा क्योंकि उसी ने खाया है। So one who has overeaten, that person will suffer the consequences. Why should another person who hasn't overeaten suffer? एक खाए दूसरा उल्टी करे, ऐसा दुनिया में नहीं होता। देखिए, अगर एक देश की सेना को कहा गया कि दुश्मन से लड़ाई करनी है, go and fight with the enemy. Now, if in the war, one side of the country wins and some of the people kill, say, 4 colonels, 8 brigadiers, इन सबको मार डाला, जान से मार दिया, तो क्या उनको फांसी होगी? तुमने आदमी को मारा, कर्नल को मारा, ब्रिगेडियर को तुमने मारा था, हाँ जी मैंने मारा, तो तुमको फांसी? नहीं, उसको फांसी नहीं होगी। तो क्या होगा? उसको मेडल मिलेगा। Why? Because he was just following the instructions of the government. He was asked to fight the war, and in that war, he was brave enough to kill all these people on the enemy's side, so he's going to be rewarded with medals. In the same way, if God is making us do whatever we are doing, good and bad, then he should be rewarding us because we are following his instructions. We are not doing anything. जैसा वो कराता है वैसे हम करते हैं। उन्होंने आपको कहा यहाँ लेक्चर में आ जाओ, आप आ गए। अब वो कहेंगे कल मत आना, ऐसा नहीं, तो आप नहीं आएंगे। अरे उसकी इच्छा के बिना पत्ता भी नहीं हिलता, आपको पता नहीं दीदी जी, आप तो ऐसे बोलेंगे। तो अगर वो कराता है तो हमको तो उसको इनाम देना चाहिए। You have done just as I've made you do. You murdered somebody? Yes. Thank you. I made you murder. Did you steal something? I made you do it. That doesn't happen, does it? So, whosoever sows, that person has to reap. जो करेगा सो भरेगा। तो कर्ता भगवान है, भरते हम हैं। वो तो हमको भी अपने लाइफ में अनुभव करते हैं कितना दुखी है मनुष्य, अपने शरीर के रोग से दुखी है, अपने परिवार में आज ये मुसीबत आ गई, आज ये भाग गया, आज लड़की की शादी, ये मुसीबत लोगों के दिमाग में। मैं तो घर घर जाकर देखती हूँ, हर व्यक्ति दुखी है, नानक दुखिया सब संसार। तो कैसा भगवान है, खुद करे दुखी हम हो। चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं। पॉइंट नंबर 4, अगर भगवान कर्म का करता है, he is the doer of all actions, then tell me why did he waste his time in telling us all the rules and regulations in the scriptures? You know that in the Vedas we have 80,000 mantras telling us exactly what we should be doing and what we should not be doing. इसको कहते हैं विधि निषेध, prohibitions and injunctions, or you could say the do's and the do nots. ये सारा लिखा है इतने डिटेल में, आप लोग तो कुछ जानते भी नहीं हो। उठते बैठते हम लोग वेदों के खिलाफ कर्म कर रहे हैं, कुछ नहीं जानते हम लोग। इसी तरह if you take up the Quran, there are rules. You take up the Old Testament. Most of the Old Testament is just rules and regulations. do's and do nots. तो अगर भगवान ही करता है, then what is the point of all these rules and regulations? He shouldn't have bothered to waste his time. He should have said, "ऐ मनुष्य, तुम लोग बेफिक्र रहो. You don't need to worry about anything, all these do's and do nots. I am the doer of your every action. इसलिए तुमको चिंता ही नहीं करनी है, ये करे कि नहीं करे." So why all these elaborate rules and regulations? आप लोग भी सुनते हैं ना, 10 commandments. वही तो कमांड है, ऐसा ऐसा करो, ऐसा ऐसा मत करो, दंड मिलेगा. अरे किसको दंड मिलेगा? करने वाले आप हैं. Let's come to the last point. This is all logic I'm telling you. We hear of different levels of, you could say, prisons. आप लोग सुनते हैं ना, कोई नरक है ना, कोई स्वर्ग है कि नहीं है, उसकी बात छोड़ो. इसी संसार में आप देखते हैं ना, इन दिस वर्ल्ड, कोई मच्छर बना है. यहाँ पे भी थोड़े थोड़े मच्छर हैं, ऐसा नहीं है नहीं है, लेकिन मच्छर है कोई. और कोई गधा बना है, कोई कुत्ता बना हुआ है, और आप और हम मनुष्य बने हैं. People are human form, and also some people have a celestial form. तो भगवान ने ऐसा क्यों किया? किसी को गधा बना दिया, किसी को कुत्ता बना दिया, किसी को पक्षी बना दिया, और किसी को मनुष्य बनाया. तो ये सब अलग अलग जेल कह सकते हो, क्योंकि ये भी एक जेल, शरीर में कुछ दिन के लिए बंधन है. तो अलग अलग जेल भगवान ने क्यों बनाए? जब वही कर्म का करता है तो. हमारे संसार में भी जेल है ना. तो ये संसार में भी जेल किसके लिए बने? Those who are criminals, they do wrong, they are sent to a prison, right? In every country, not only today, even 5,000 years back, there were criminals. And whenever anybody does wrong, they are sent to a prison. What about those countries that believe in God? God-fearing countries? Like India, for instance. तो वो लोग अगर कहते हैं भगवान ही करता है, तो फिर किसी को दंड क्यों देते हो? अगर if somebody is stealing something or murdering somebody, it's not him, it's God. So in God-fearing countries like India, there should not have been any prisons, because God is the doer of every action. But we have prisons in India, and we have prisons in communist countries. Those who believe there's no God, you are responsible for your actions. Everywhere there are prison houses for those who do wrong in the world as well. भगवान अगर करता तो फिर ऐसा क्यों किया उसने कि किसी को दुख दे रहा है या नरक दे रहा है? बहुत से लोग कहते हैं इसी संसार में नरक है, इसी संसार में. चलो मान लिया, लेकिन है तो किसी को दुख क्यों दे रहे हो और किसी को सुखी किया? So with all these arguments, it is evident that God is not the doer of our actions. We ourselves are the doers. Not him. गीता में श्री कृष्ण कहते हैं, न कर्तृत्वं न कर्माणि लोकस्य सृजति प्रभु नारते कस्यचित् पापं न चैनं सुकृतं विभु. 5th chapter, 14th verse and 15th verse. I do not interfere with human freedom of action at all. I do nothing. Whatever you do, good or bad, I do not interfere. There you go. But What about all those verses and those mantras you quoted from the scriptures? I said, Brahmaya sarvabhutani yantrarukani mayaya Ishvara sarvabhutanam hrideshe junatishthati 18 chapter 61st verse. Guru Granth Sahib में है ना, नाको मूर्ख नाको सियाना वरते सब किछ तेरा भान. Nobody is a fool or a wise person. Whatever you make a person, that's what he is. यानी वही करा रहा है. I'll quote to you a mantra which says something so shocking. You will really find it surprising. Kaushitaki Upanishad, mantra 3.9 says, Esha heva sadhu karma karayati. And Esha heva sadhu karma karayati. भगवान जिसको ऊपर भेजना चाहता है, ऊपर means to get out of this cycle of birth and death, अपने घर ले जाना चाहता है. He wants to take that person to the divine abode. तो क्या उससे अच्छा अच्छा कराता है. और जिसको दुख देना चाहता है, नीचे भेजना चाहता है, तो उससे बुरा कराता है. बताइए, ऐसा भगवान हो सकता है कि जिससे यानी इस पार्शियल, जिसको उधर दे जाना उससे अच्छा अच्छा कराया और जिसको नीचे नरक भेजना तो उससे बुरा कराया. ये कौशीतकी उपनिषद में लिखा है. तो आप क्या निर्णय करेंगे? What are you going to decide? Who is the doer? Is it God or is it us? The scriptures are telling you both these things. And that's why, listen to me very carefully, Anantam Param Gambhiram Durvigahyam Samudravat. Bhagavad Puran, verse number 11, 21, 36 says that these scriptures contain very profound truths. Therefore, Anadya Vidya Yuktasya Purushashvatma Vedanam Svatona Sambhavadanyas. 11th canto, 22nd chapter, 10th verse says, don't you make the mistake of trying to study these scriptures on your own. You will only reap doubts and confusions. आपका दिमाग खराब हो जाएगा. शास्त्र पढ़ के अपने आप तुमको ज्ञान नहीं होगा. You may spend millions of lives because the truths are so profound and there are so many contradictions. I've just given you one of them and quoted from the scriptures. How will you decide what is the actuality? Is God the doer of our actions? Or are we responsible for our actions? You know what you're going to do and what we do all the time? We are opportunists. जब मन में आता है, ये मैंने किया है, this is all my hard work. You know, we often say that. आप सभी लोग इस इंग्लैंड में आए थे, तो बहुत से लोग कहते हैं हम अफ्रीका से आए थे, I came with 1 pound in my pocket. सबकी कहानियां मैं सुनती हूँ. कोई कुछ कहता है, कोई कुछ कहता है. देखो आज हमारे पास मर्सिडीज कार है, हमारे पास 3 मकान है. All this is my hard work, my brains. और जब कोई हमसे अच्छा काम नहीं होता या हम कुछ करना नहीं चाहते, we want to escape from doing something. Like I said, you come to the lecture today and tomorrow if you don't want to come, you'll say it's his wish. If he decides that I shouldn't come, मैं क्या करूँ? That's how we are. मतलबी है, opportunists. When it suits us, it's me. And when it suits us, it's him. And of course, he's not going to come and say, look, what the hell, why are you blaming me? It was not me, it was you. He's not going to come and say that, so it suits us. So this kind of philosophy is not going to help you in life. I'm sorry to tell you that. And not only will we commit an offense, but we will never get out of this bondage. We are bound, we know that. We are suffering, we know that. So if you want to get out of it, you have to know the truth. So now, I'm going to explain the fact to you. If you listen carefully, then I can challenge you that your confusion regarding this point will be cleared forever. Of course, if somebody wants to be confused, deliberately confused, nobody can help you. But what you listen today will definitely give you the understanding about why the scriptures on the one hand say that He is the one you cannot move without His doing, and why is it said that you are responsible. In the Vedanta, Brahma Sutra, Sutra number 2341 says, Krita prayatno pekshastu vihita pratishidha vayatya dibhya. God gives each and everyone the power to do. भगवान हमको कर्म करने की शक्ति देता है और कर्म हम खुद करते हैं. We perform actions according to our own desires, but with the power given by God. अगर भगवान हमको कर्म करने की शक्ति न देता तो हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते. जरा एक दो एग्जाम्पल से समझ लीजिए. आप लोग बीज देखें, you have seen seeds. You have millions of seeds, right? Different trees, different plants, flowers, grains, herbs, all different sorts of seeds that are there. They produce different kinds of trees, plants, whatever. You have the big banyan tree, and then you also have those miniature fashionable Chinese plants. They never grow bigger than that. So all these different kinds of seeds, you probably have gardens as well, and you grow whatever you feel like. Some people use their gardens to grow vegetables. Some people use their gardens for flowers, whatever they may be using, and some people have fruits there. Now, these seeds have got within themselves the different kinds of whatever plants or trees that you see is due to what is present in that seed itself. However, will a seed grow into a plant? Will a seed germinate on its own? No. You go to the supermarkets, there's plenty of seeds being sold there in packets, right? Do these seeds become plants on their own? क्या ये बीज पेड़ बन जाते हैं अपने आप? ना. अरे ये पैकेट 10-10 साल भी पड़े रहे वहां पे, लेकिन उसमें से पेड़ नहीं बनेगा. You have sacks containing rice and wheat. Those seeds may lie in the sacks for years together, लेकिन उसमें से कोई पेड़ नहीं बनेगा. क्यों? क्योंकि जब तक पानी नहीं मिलेगा तब तक वो पेड़ नहीं बन सकता. You need water. Water is necessary. Just as you can see for yourself, you say soil is also necessary. Granted, but main thing is water. आप लोग अपने घर में मूंग भी उगाते हो ना, क्या करते हो? खाली पानी में डालते हो, कोई मिट्टी डालते हो क्या? नहीं. चना, मूंग, उगे हुए मूंग खाते हैं ना लोग, तो कैसे? पानी है ना, पानी डाला तब that seed sprouted, it germinated. So water is necessary. And then you see in forests, who goes to plant those trees there? You know, the seeds fall onto the ground, and then there is water there, and you find trees, different kinds of trees coming up. But the water is there equally. पानी बरसा आपके बगीचे पर, ठीक है? तो पानी तो पूरे बगीचे में बरसा, लेकिन जैसा जैसा बीज था वहां, वैसा वैसा पेड़ निकला. And sometimes you can even get weeds. You don't want them, but the weeds come up, don't they? So is it the fault of the water that you got those horrible weeds in your garden? No. The water was there, the rain was there, equally there in the garden, but according to the seeds that were present, the respective plant or whatever it may have been came out. But water is indispensable. Let's take another example. You all have electricity in your houses. It's become such an indispensable part of our lives. You can never imagine what it must have been maybe a couple of 100 years ago when there was no electricity. Candlelight or whatever people must have used. Life was so simple. Now electricity, you can do anything you want with it. You can wash your clothes, you can iron your clothes, you can wash your dishes, you can go up escalator, you can come down, you can dry your hair, you can even shave. There's so many things that you do with electricity today, right? So electricity comes from the main powerhouse to your house for your benefit, and according to your need, you make use of this electricity. However, if a person wants to die, even electricity can help that person to do that. How can that electricity do it? Well, all you have to do is, you can't see any wiring here, because these days the houses have got all concealed wiring, but in olden times, probably some old houses in England will still have it. You can see the wires. And suppose there is a live wire, it's kind of exposed wire, and somebody holds onto it deliberately or by mistake. A live wire, what's going to happen? The person is going to experience a terrible shock. Now the person who's experienced that shock through that live wire, he complains and blames the main powerhouse. If the main powerhouse had not provided electricity to my house, this would not have happened to me. But who asked you to do that? Nobody asked you to hold that wire. आपको किसने कहा कि नंगी तार पकड़ लो? मरने का काम कर रहे हो और कहते हो क्यों मरा मैं? तो इसलिए बिजली की गलती है क्या? अरे बिजली तो आपके मतलब के लिए, आपके लाभ के लिए दी गई, आपको मरने के लिए किसी ने नहीं कहा. तो आप बिजली को दोष नहीं दे सकते. ऐसे ही देखिए, सारी दुनिया में आप लोग नदियां देखते हैं. There are rivers, they flow in every country almost, and people use the water from these rivers for different purposes. In places like India, people even drink the water, and even you probably do it. गंगा जल बहुत से लोग इंग्लैंड भी लेके आते हैं, घर की शुद्धि करते हैं. अरे नदी में पानी है, पीते भी हैं और उसमें नहाते भी हैं और कपड़े भी धोते हैं बहुत से लोग. It's used for irrigation purposes, it's used for harnessing electricity as well. And if somebody is really depressed and wants to put an end to his or her life, and suppose the person doesn't know how to swim, the easiest way to die is jump into the river. बस चुटकी. और या किसी और को आपको मारना है और पता है तैरना नहीं जानता, धक्का दे दो पानी में, गया बेचारा, डूब गया, मर गया. तो इसमें नदी का कोई दोष है क्या? Is the river responsible for that? For you committing suicide or somebody pushing somebody else into the river and that person died? In which way is the river responsible? So I think you're getting the point. This water from the rain clouds, the rain from the clouds can be compared to the power that God gives us to do. It's indispensable for the seed to grow. Same way, the electricity that comes to your house for your benefit, that can be compared to God's power. It's there for your benefit. The water in the rivers that flows, that water is there for our benefit. And if we misuse it, that is entirely our fault. So God gives you the power to do. How we are going to utilize that power depends entirely on us. For instance, a policeman. He's given a license for a revolver. And what is a revolver for? For maintaining law and order. And if there is any kind of, you could say some people playing mischief or whatever, and he's been ordered that this is a curfew time. So if anybody misbehaves, you have to use that revolver. Okay, that's what the revolver is for. अगर इस revolver से वो अपने आप को मार देता है, तो फिर अगर वो कहे कि लाइसेंस क्यों दी गई हमको? अरे रिवॉल्वर की लाइसेंस आपको दी गई थी कि कानून रहे for maintaining law and order. It was not given to you to kill yourself. You are at fault. In the same way, God gives us the power to do Chetanas Chetananam. Shvetashvatara Upanishad Mantra 6:13 says. He gives us the consciousness, the power, the life. That comes from Him. There is a very beautiful mantra. Several mantras I would say in the Keno Upanishad. Mantra number 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. In continuity is telling us that the instruments that we use for performing any actions. What instruments do you need? Eyes, ears, nose, mouth, the mind, the intellect. All these, the senses, mind and intellect are the instruments we use to perform actions. Karm karne ke liye. All these instruments are without consciousness. Ye jada hai. They don't have life. So it is with His power that a person is able to see. Yad vachan nabhyuditam yena vaga bhyudyate. The tongue is given double function. You know that, na? We can taste with the tongue and we can also speak. The speaking is something very, very powerful. Word power. We have to be very cautious because words can make and words can break. That's how powerful they are. They can destroy as well. So He's given a double function to the tongue. But it is with His power that the tongue is able to taste or speak. Yena vaga bhyudyate tadeva brahma tvam viddhi nedam yadidam upasate yat chakshusha na pashyati yena chakshutvam shipashyati tadeva brahma tvam viddhi nedam yadidam upasate yat shrotrena na shrinoti yena shrotram vidakvam shritam tadeva brahma tvam viddhi nedam yadidam upasate. The same thing has been repeated for each sense organs, the mind and intellect. The mind cannot do anything without His power. It is with His power that the mind thinks. It is with His power that the intellect is given the power to decide. Now, what we are going to see, what we are going to hear, what we are going to speak or taste or think or decide depends entirely upon ourselves. आपको आंख मिली है देखने के लिए, राइट? सबके घर में टीवी है, तो कोई कौन सा प्रोग्राम देखेगा ये आपके ऊपर है. There are programs, everybody's favorite is of course those serials. उसके ऊपर सब लट्टू रहते हैं. Even if they have to go out somewhere, they make sure they record it. I must not miss that. They are hooked on them completely. And what is a serial? Nothing but your life. हर एक की लाइफ एक सीरियल है, वहीं से ले लेके तो दिखाते हैं और क्या करते हैं. लेकिन हम उसी में ही जुटे रहते हैं. कुछ लोग सीरियल देखते हैं. Some people watch films of violence. Some people like to see nature, and some people like to get some spiritual thoughts. See, you are free to see. That box is right there in front of you. The remote control is in your hand. This is what. अब कुछ लोग तो आंख खुलते ही न्यूज देखनी है. पहले के जमाने में तो लोग उठते ही पहले there was some kind of prayer they would perform, or a kind of chanting they would do. But today, cup of tea, that tea and the newspaper. That's the Bible, that's the Gita for most people. So what you're going to do with your eyes, and what you're going to see depends on you. What you're going to hear. Are you going to sit and hear idle gossip? That's very, you could say, interesting. Not many people will come for a talk like this. I must say, I'm grateful to all of you all who have come, because given a choice, idle gossip and criticism of people, that's what we enjoy. Oh, so his daughter ran away. When did that happen? Was it a Muslim boy? Or was it somebody else? I know the person. This is the second time she's run. It's so interesting. So what you're going to hear, are you going to hear all this gossip? Or are you going to have some idle waste of time talk about curtains, carpets and whatever XYZ and the sale down the road or rising prices and what you're going to do about it? You're going to listen to all that? Or you're going to listen to a spiritual talk? You have the ears, the choice is yours. In the same way, with this tongue, आप सात्विक भोजन करेंगे या रजोगुनी भोजन करेंगे या तमोगुनी करेंगे. भगवान ने तो जबान दी है, खाओ, पेट भरो, लेकिन काहे से पेट भर रहे हो आप? That depends upon you. He's not responsible. I can't do without my chicken every day. So who is making you eat? God. Yes, it's very easy to blame him. He's made this creation and that's what we are here for. So if you want to defend and justify yourself, there's many things you can do. So what we are going to taste, what we are going to think, we are free. Lots of people spend most of their lives brooding over the past. उसने ऐसा कहा, उसने ऐसा किया, हमारे साथ ऐसा बुरा हुआ. हर व्यक्ति को यही लगता है that I had a bad bargain in life. I tried to do good to people, they did bad to me, right? So we brood over the past, or we worry about the future. अगर ऐसा हुआ तो क्या होगा, और ये हो गया तो क्या होगा? We worry about the past. So that's the thinking most people do. But the mind has been given to you. What you're going to think, that you are free to do. What you are going to decide about your life. What am I going to do with my life? What is my aim? My decision. That you are entirely free. You are responsible for it. So I suppose you have got the point now. Why these scriptures say that God, without His will, even a leaf cannot move. A leaf is an insignificant little thing, but it cannot move because life comes from Him. The consciousness, the power to do comes from Him. But we have a freedom. Swatantra kriyamane vai krito bhagavata vida. We have a freedom to perform action. And what we are going to do, you want to know what kind of actions we are going to perform? What determines them? Our past life impressions. So sanskar कहते हैं ना? We are all born with a fund of experience. And you can probably, if you are a thinker, if you are perceptive, you will find this in your own family. एक घर में 3 बच्चे अगर हैं, लेकिन तीनों का स्वभाव अलग अलग है. क्यों? माँ बाप तो एक ही है ना? तो ऐसा क्यों हुआ कि तीनों अलग अलग हैं? क्योंकि each person, each soul is born with a fund of experience that comes from the past. So we have a base, the sanskar, and then we also have our own desires. Thirdly, the kind of company we keep. Association is very important. अगर कोई व्यक्ति उसके सारे संगी साथी शराबी हैं, तो एक दिन वो भी पीने लगेगा. वो संग ऐसा है ना. So association is very important, and also our knowledge. So these few factors are going to determine the kind of actions a person performs. However, as I said, God in no way interferes with our human freedom. We cannot blame him anymore once you have learned what I have said today. The great saint Ramakrishna Paramhans, he used to give an example to his disciples to teach them this whole concept that I have told you right now. He told them the story of a gardener who was very fond of his own garden, and he had taken a lot of trouble. So much hard work he had put into beautiful trees, plants over there, and he prided himself. He would never let any children into his garden because he knew that children can be pretty destructive. They'll pull out the flowers and the leaves, and he would make sure the gate of his garden was always closed. Now one day what happened was, a cow entered his garden. एक गाय घुसाई, वो भूल गया दरवाजा खुला था, वो कहीं और था, तो गाय अंदर आके और उसके फेवरेट पेड़ को खाने लगी. गाय को तो मजा आ गया. All this greenery and nobody there and enjoying a meal. The moment this gardener came and saw that cow, he was so furious. He just picked up a stick which was lying nearby and he hit the cow. Hit the cow just once, but it was time for that cow to die, whatever it may have been. The cow just fell down dead over there. Gardener was shocked. I killed this cow. What's going to happen now? No, cow is a sacred animal for Hindus. He thought, what do I do? If the villagers see this, they are going to beat me up. And what am I going to say? How did the cow die in my garden? So he thought, the first thing he did, he tied that cow and managed to drag it to another part of his garden, lest anybody should see it now. And he kept thinking, what will I say, what will I say? Then it struck him. I have heard somewhere that Indra, the king of the celestial abode, he governs the hands. The hands are empowered to do by King Indra, and he makes the hands do. So if anybody is going to ask me who killed this cow, I know what I'm going to say. Now Indra, the celestial god, read his thoughts and he said, I'm going to teach this man a lesson. He came down in the disguise of an old man, knocked at the gate, and he said, I have been looking at your garden from outside. It's wonderful. Can I come inside? I'd love to see what you have. It's beautiful. Tell me, did you do all this yourself? I mean, I can't imagine one person and such a big, beautiful garden. Yes. Every plant, I have done it with my own hands. So this garden is entirely my own creation. My hands have worked hard. I've planted them. I have looked after them. Yes, I've never seen such a beautiful garden in my life ever. And then deliberately Indra made his way to the place where he saw the dead cow. Ram, 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 Ram. Dead cow, what's it doing in your garden? Who killed this cow? Seems to me that the cow has just died recently. What happened? Who killed it? You know, I just want to tell you, I thought you would, as a old man, would have this knowledge. Don't you know that King Indra, the celestial god, is the governor of the hen? So, you know what happened? That this hen, Indra made my hand pick up a stick, and because the cow was in my garden, Indra made my hand take up the stick and hit the cow. So, and if you ever meet the celestial god Indra, you can ask him why he made me do it. It was not me. What's it? When it comes to the garden, it was your hands that have planted every one of these plants and these beautiful trees. And when it comes to killing that cow, it was Indra, isn't it? I am King Indra. So there you go. I said we are opportunists. Whenever we want to escape from any blame, or whenever we want to make excuses for spiritual practice, भगवान की इच्छा होगी, भगवान की कृपा होगी. I hear that so often, whenever I try to inspire people, teach people, literally entreat them, because in this particular age, people have got time for everything, accepting what their human life is meant for. So the reply I get, भगवान की कृपा होगी तो जरूर. तो अगर भगवान की कृपा से सब कुछ होना है तो आराम से घर में बैठिए ना, घर में पैसा भी आ जाएगा. अगर आप बीमार हैं, घर में बैठिए, अपने आप भगवान की कृपा से आप ठीक हो जाएंगे. उसके लिए तो भागते दौड़ते हैं. आज शादी में जाना है, वहां कहाँ जाना है? कोई भाग रहा है, लिवरपूल भाग रहा है, कोई ग्लासगो भाग रहा है, कोई अमेरिका भी भाग रहा है, कोई इंडिया भी भाग रहा है. तब आपने नहीं सोचा भगवान की कृपा होगी तो? तब तो भागते रहते हैं. आज जब साधना करने की बात आई, कोई अच्छा काम करने की बात आई, or what we don't want to have, you know, to be blamed about, then it's me, it's God, and all the good that you do, it's all my hard work. ये मेरे खून पसीने की कमाई है, हमने की. So God has luckily escaped being blamed, at least by a few people sitting here. You have understood what it is, and I hope you can make other people understand. So he's not going to be blamed for anything in our life anymore. Then who are we going to blame? Because it is human nature that we always want to justify ourselves, make excuses and find somebody to blame. It starts right from the point we were children. You know, when a little child slips and falls on the floor, what does the mother do? Just to pacify the child that's crying, वो ज़मीन में मारती है. She beats the floor. This is the fault of the floor. And the child feels assured and says, my mother has done a bit. She has beaten the thing that has been responsible for me falling. So from that time, we get into this habit of blaming. As I said, we blame God when we want to, but today we know. Then what are we going to blame? We are going to blame the time or stars or our destiny. Destiny. Avashyameva bhoktavyam kritam karma shubhashubham nabhuktam chiyate karma kalpakoti shatairapi. You cannot escape from your destiny. You have to go through it. कहामुनीस हिमवंत सुनो जे विधि लिखा लीलार देवदनुज नर नाग मुनि को न मेटनहार. Whatever is written, lilar, on your forehead or your hand, wherever it is written, it's written. So whatever is written, predestined, nobody can change that. Forget the astrologers and the fortune tellers that people run to. TV पे भी program आते हैं. Just forget them. They cannot do anything. Even the celestial gods cannot do anything. It is saying over here. You have heard, some of you must have seen the Mahabharata. Long ago they were showing it on the BBC channel as well in England. And in that, Abhimanyu was Arjuna's son. He died in the battle of Mahabharata at a young age of probably 20. Arjuna is a great saint. And the one who performed the marriage rites of Abhimanyu is a descension of God, Veda Vyas, who Abhimanyu's uncle was. Lord Krishna himself. 3 topmost personalities. And they did not save Abhimanyu. And why did they let him die in the first place? They were right there. This is destiny. So we cannot do anything about that. We cannot escape. Here we are again. Even the gods cannot do anything. No amount of Trayambakam Yajamaye Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam is going to change the time of death of any person. Death is sure. So we are trapped again. Are we free to perform action, or are we bound by destiny? Right now, I'm going to tell you, you are free to do. I want you to come back. This is not destiny. You are free to come back and listen to the answer. Not today. I'll give you the answer tomorrow. And tomorrow the talk, as you know, is 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So I hope to see all of you all here. And if you have your friends and family members, this is an important knowledge. This is the most important knowledge, more important than all the university knowledge we have collected in our lives. Let me tell you that. And once you have it, you will know that it's going to help you to tackle all the stress and storms of your life. So we will see each other tomorrow. Boliye Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. Shrimad Satguru Sarkar ki jai.
You know, we talk about God. My belief for myself personally, I feel we're all God. And God is within us, and my own thinking again is that whatever we do in life is, and real contentment in life is within ourselves. And so to me, you know, we are God. And whatever we do, like you said, whatever, you know, any actions we take, we should be responsible for. So when people say God is there, God is there, God is there, then it's like electric. We use electric, but we cannot see electric. We breathe in oxygen. We can't see oxygen. Same as gas. So I feel that God is within ourselves.
You are absolutely right that God resides within each and every one. But we are not God. We are parts of God. Every religion tells you that. Parts of God. Yes, we are divine entities because God is divine and we are parts of Him. We are divine. But we are divine entities that are at present in a state of ignorance. And with the right knowledge or right karma, whatever is to be done, when we are able to do, then when this ignorance is dispelled, then you become one with God. At present, there is no doubt about the fact that we are ruled by ignorance. This theory of Advaita Vedanta that you are talking about, Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahma, this was the philosophy propagated by Jagadguru Shankaracharya about 2500 years ago, And the purpose of this was to get people out of the ritualistic practices that were prevalent at that time. So he propagated this philosophy of Advaita Vedanta, because in the Dvaita Vedanta, the priests were taking a wrong knowledge from the scriptures and getting people into ritualism. And in order to rectify that situation, he propounded Advaita Vedanta. But very few people have the deep knowledge of his own life and the rest of his philosophy, where he himself practiced devotion to Lord Krishna. He is the one who established the four mats, Badrinath and Rameshwaram. So if he believed that he himself was God, he would not have established these mats. He advised his own mother to practice devotion to Krishna. So there is the soul and the super soul, two things. I am not the super soul, I am a part of the super soul in a state of ignorance. When this ignorance is dispelled, then you can say Aham Brahmasmi. Then you unite, you merge. The ignorance is not there. But at present, we are in a state of ignorance. The Supreme Being resides within the soul and the super soul. And that's why the Shvetashvatara Upanishad also says, Dvasuparna Sayuja Sakhaya. There are two within, the super soul and the soul.
आपने बोला कि सब अपना अपना किस्मत कर्म लेके आते हैं, and God cannot interfere. So why do we need to go to temple? Why do we need to worship God? Because He's not going to help you in any way. You are on your own.
This is what I'm going to discuss tomorrow. The role of God in our lives after this. As far as freedom of action, He's given it to us, and He gives us the power to do. So after that, what is the role and how is He going to help us, help to free us? He doesn't interfere in action. What we are doing, we do. But how is He going to help us to get out of this karmic reaction? That is going to come tomorrow.
Radha. I have a very simple question actually. You explain that we are ignorant, yet we are an entity of the divine God. The theory of karma is complicated, but there are do's and don't do's that you mentioned, 80,000
Mantras, yeah.
mantras. Simple knowledge, do's and don'ts. If God was there to help us to understand that, I just wonder why He made it so complicated.
It appears to be complicated in today's day because our life is totally centered around the materialist aspect of our life. Materialism is rampant. So we have absolutely no clue of the inner self. We only live on the external level. And when I explain to you what we do to get out of this karmic cycle tomorrow, then you will know that it is a pretty simple thing. Because we have gone so, you could say, into a state of entrapment that we feel it's difficult, the present state of our mind. But if it comes to understanding what we are expected to do, ultimately, it's very simple. We are living in this world, right? A simple thing, I'll tell you. We all want happiness. It's a universal goal. Now, what kind of happiness do you want? Do you want temporary happiness or do you want permanent happiness? Permanent, everlasting happiness? Do you want limited happiness or do you want unlimited happiness? We want unlimited happiness. What are we getting till today in our lives? Temporary, limited. That means nowhere in the world is the state of happiness that we want. Everything is temporary in the world. Everything is limited. And yet we go back there. Simple truth. And we've never made a decision till today that this is not where I'm going to find it. You keep going to the supermarket, and that supermarket, you keep saying, I want diamonds. And they keep telling you, look, we don't sell diamonds. You have to go to the jeweler shop. And still invariably you keep going back there. You keep going back there, knowing you're not going to get this. So it's we who are in a state of deep ignorance. But the truth is very simple. Truth is always very simple because we have believed in the untruth due to the kind of age we are living in, due to our past karmas, that it seems to be difficult. I've just given you a simple example. This is what the truth is telling you. You just do this, which I'm going to follow up tomorrow. It's very simple, but it's going to take us some time to do because the roots of our ignorance are pretty deep. And we have brainwashed ourselves into that untruth, and we have believed it's truth. We believe this is knowledge. So you have to just rewind that, dehypnotize ourselves. And when we have an association with the true master, then we will find that this is a simple truth. All we have to do is follow it and we will get there.
Jai Shri Krishna. I am a professional in marketing. My profession informs me that I should manipulate the senses, the taste, all the senses of the audience. Is my profession a dharmic in terms of what it practices and what I need to do in order to put bread on the table and so forth?
The main point of karma, always remember that, is the attachment of the mind to it, our intention behind it. Whatever you do, what is your intention behind it? For instance, when we say lying is not a good thing, you shouldn't lie to anybody. But suppose a doctor lies to a patient who's had a heart attack and tells him that his tumor is non-malignant when it actually is cancer, and he lies to the patient. What is the intention of the doctor? The doctor's intention is that this patient should recover from his heart attack, isn't it? Instead of suffering again. So if that is your profession, that's the work you're doing to earning your living. Yeah? You need to earn your living for food, clothes and shelter. Right? The intention is food, clothes and shelter, and there is a little bit of extra laws to that. After food, clothes and shelter, the spiritual government expects every human being to share whatever they have extra in terms of material opulence with those who are less privileged. Like every religion tells you that a certain amount of money should go towards spiritual income tax. Spiritual income taxes, some religions say 5%, some 10%. This is a compulsory thing that each person has to do with charity. So if we are earning that particular money with the purpose of a livelihood and the rest is being utilized in the right direction, then we do not accrue karma. But if our intention of working and making money is to have big house and big cars and a status, that is the intention. That's what's going to make me happy, and at the expense of deceiving another person, then we do accrue karma, karmic reaction on that. So the main thing is the intention of the mind. Two people commit a murder, say for instance, one person deliberately kills another person, and one person is defending himself. One person strikes him and he strikes back because he has to defend himself. And in the procedure, the other person got killed. Both the cases went to court. And it was proved that somebody deliberately killed and the other, it happened in self-defense. So the person who killed deliberately will have to go through whatever the country law says. He'll be hung or life imprisonment. And the person who accidentally killed a person in self-defense, he will be let free, isn't it? So it's intention. Karmic result that we get is the intention of the action. The action, the fruit we accrue will be the intention. And that's where we can one day free ourselves of this cycle, which I'll be talking about tomorrow.